We suck. So let's talk about where we go from here. Now, guys, this video is brought to you by our friends over at BetUS. And it's crazy, guys. The Jaguars are 5.5-point favorites this upcoming game against the New England Patriots, which, look, I have not watched any Patriots games this year. And I've watched a whole lot of Jaguar games this year. By a whole lot, I mean every single Jaguar game. So if we're 5.5-point favorites, then the Patriots must really, really suck. But I'm not going to touch that line. We can talk about some individual player props. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, 235.5 passing yards. I'll probably go under on this. Unfortunately, he has a tough time getting over 250. We also have Trevor Lawrence, 10.5 rushing yards. I'll go over. All it takes is one random scramble for him to get there, and, he's pretty good at rushing the ball. Christian Kirk, 43.5 receiving yards. I'm going to go under just because, Evan Ingram is back in the lineup, and they've been going to him a lot. And Christian Kirk, I don't know. It's just been a little bit weird. So here's some different fun line for you guys to get on. If there's any other lines that interest you on here, I mean, you can even bet on politics right now on BetUS. You can really do everything, anything and everything. So guys, go to betus.com, use promo code YouTube150. It's going to give you a 150% deposit bonus. Thank you so much to BetUS for sponsoring this video. Now let's go ahead and talk about these sucky Jaguars. Now, when the Jaguars started off 0-4, look, I was feeling very, very bad, but I still held out hope, okay? I looked at the rest of the schedule and said, you know what? We have some manageable games left. If we can go on some kind of 4-game run, get back to 500, then anything is possible. And the Jaguars went 1-4, and I was like, man, maybe this is going to start everything. And then the Jaguars got mollywopped by the Chicago Bears, and now we're 1-5, and now I'm out. Now I'm out. I have no optimism for the season. I do not think we're going to make the playoffs at all, and it's just really frustrating. And look, for me, I really don't ask that much from the Jaguars. I ask two things. I ask for one Super Bowl in my entire life, okay? All I need in my entire life is just to win me one Super Bowl. That's all I want. That's all I want. I'm 30 years old. I got a lot of life left. Just give me one Super Bowl. And I also asked for meaningful games in December, okay? I don't want to, hit the game between Christmas and New Year's and have to really debate whether I want the Jaguars to win for pride or if I want them to lose for a better draft pick. But unfortunately, we're at that part in October, okay? We are no longer in meaningful games anymore. I guess we kind of are, but if we're all being real, we all know the Jaguars have no chance of doing anything. So I'm definitely at that point in the season where, I live stream these games. I'll sit here and root for the Jaguars to win. I'll root for our players to make plays. I'll root for, Trevor Lawrence to make his connections with Brian Thomas Jr., and I'll root for Tank Bigsby to have these big runs. But at the end of the day, losses will not bother me anymore. I've become numb to losses. At this point, they're just getting me closer to not only end of the season, but the better draft spot. Now, at the same time, I am almost in this mode of almost wanting the Jaguars to lose. And honestly, at this point, it's not even for the draft pick. It's not even for the draft pick at this point. I want the Jaguars almost to lose to bring in a new everybody. And I don't know what Shad Khan, where his head is at, what his philosophy on things are when it comes to when he would fire somebody, but it almost feels like with Shad Khan, we need to bottom out for him to really understand how bad things are. And it's crazy because I want Shad Khan to suffer. And what's really funny is that, after the Bills game, Demetrius Harvey came out with a tweet saying that Shad Khan was really, really upset. And I was sitting here like, wow, welcome to being a Jaguars fan, Shad Khan. After 11, 12 years of being an owner, you finally know what it's like to be a Jaguars fan. And also, when I look at things, guys, really, 3-14 is not a whole lot different than 8-9. When it comes down to it, they're both losing records. None of them are good. I mean, 8-9, it gets you in a spot where you're drafting 14 or 15, and you're in no man's land on being able to draft really one of the elite prospects. But if you're 3-14, you're top 1, 2, 3 in the draft, then you can really make a move for an elite player. You can trade back if a team really, really wants a quarterback. It just gives you so many options. And for me, if the Jaguars do go into the new year, if the Jaguars, say, for example, go 3-14, and then all of a sudden, Trent Baalke, gone. Doug Peterson, probably gone next week. Then all of a sudden, you have a clean slate on everything. Then all of a sudden, the Jaguars' job becomes that much more attractive because I feel like the way Shad Khan likes things is he wants the GM in place and then he wants the head coach. And, when it comes to like the attractability, like I want the Jaguars' job to be as attractive as possible. And having a pick in the top 3 is much more attractive than having a pick number 14 in the draft. You know what I mean? So I'm almost on to the fact that, look, this season is over, so I'm really looking into not only next year, but just the future of this Jaguars. And right now, I want to look at the future of the Jaguars. Trent Baalke isn't there. Also, Doug Peterson isn't there. And, right now, I really think that the Jaguars as a team, it's not a roster issue. It's a management issue. Okay? And the key to fixing this thing, like for the Jaguars to become a winning product, it doesn't matter who what players you bring in here. And the perfect example of this is I look at the New York Jets. The New York Jets, when you actually break apart everything and you actually look at the raw materials, they might have the best roster in the NFL. Okay, they have elite receivers, they have a decent offensive line, but they're really good at defense. I mean, they have, some top players at each position, one of the top linebackers, top cornerbacks. They have several really good defensive linemen that can get out to the quarterback. And they have a Hall of Fame quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, really good running back as well. And, last year they weren't very good. And we thought, okay, once they get Aaron Rodgers back in here, boom, everything's going to click. They were overwhelming favorites to win the AFC East. They were like the second or third highest odds to go represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. And right now they're 2-4. They are a perfect example of it doesn't matter what players you have. If your organization stinks, it's not going to generate wins. And right now the Jaguars are in that same exact situation where, the Jaguars can get lucky and go to the playoffs one year every now and then. But when it comes to actual sustainability, when it comes to being the Chiefs or the Ravens, or name your team who's in the, playoffs every year, the Jaguars under this organization and under this leadership just don't have that, okay? So for me, I'm not even looking at, we need to, draft left tackle, or, we need to go try to pay some money to a big cornerback. I'm not looking at that. I'm solely looking at how we can change management. And look, I'll be making a video very, very soon on how I would go about doing that because I do have a lot of thoughts about that. But, this video is more about this year and how we should kind of look at things. And yeah, this weekend we have the Patriots. And I don't even know, like this game, what does beating the Patriots actually do for me? I don't know any Patriots fans. Right now, when you look at Tankathon, Patriots had the number 1 overall pick. The Jaguars had the number 3 overall pick. So, beating them only worsens our draft spot and boosts them up. I know that makes me sound like a loser, but I'm all about, like I said, I'm not going to be sitting here cheering for the Jaguars lose, but if the Jaguars lose, then fine. It's probably better in the long run. It's whatever, man. And, I do have some people text me like, man, I'm sorry about the Jaguars and how you have to make videos on this. Look, I'm fine. I'm okay, guys. And look, think of me, like, think of me as your just friend who, I say this all the time on the channel. Like, I'm no expert. I'm no, like, football guru. I am just a fan that makes videos about the Jaguars, okay? I love this team. I want this team to be great. But unfortunately, we're just not right now. And we're not going to be in 2024. Hopefully, we are in 2025. But definitely major things need to happen. And it all starts with Shad Khan. Shad Khan has the keys to fixing this organization. And I just worry that if the Jaguars do somehow go 8-9, that means that the Jaguars go 7-4 down the stretch. Okay? Then all of a sudden, does Shad Khan think, you know what? They really ended off this season good. Maybe we'll fire Doug and we'll let Trent hire his 3rd head coach in his tenure. It sounds crazy, but anything is possible with Shad Khan. So we'll just have to see. Let me know your thoughts. Am I crazy? Like, how are you guys feeling? Like, do you guys want us to win? Do you guys want us to lose? Or are you guys kind of like me where it's like, whatever happens. Let me know. Would love to hear you guys' thoughts. And shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this video. 150% deposit bonus if you go to betus.com and use promo code YouTube150. Drop a like on your way out and go Jags.